Takes it away, and we're underway. A low line drive bouncer taken by the up man, Brett Besh. Besh across the 20. Getting outside and hit hard as it got up to the 28-yard line. So the New Orleans Saints will go on offense to start the ball game. Starting his 4th straight game is Billy Joe Tolliver. He passed for 325 yards last week in a losing effort at Carolina. His offensive line, William Roaf, the best lineman on the team, is back after 12 days when he had arthroscopic knee surgery. Lamar Smith is back in the lineup coming off a sprained ankle. He'll be the lead running back. Keith Poole and Sean Dawkins are the wide receivers, and Cam Cleland is the leading receiver for the Saints. That's Poole in motion. The blitz is on. It's picked up. Lamar Smith dancing around is thrown down by Dwayne Rudd. Boy, did Rudd get there in a hurry. Excellent defensive play by the Vikings, who had trouble stopping the run in Tampa Bay last week. But they've got a great front four. John Randall, Dwayne Clemens starts for the injured Stalin Colonnade. The linebackers, Quick, Rudd, McDaniel, and Dixon Edwards. And the secondary has been outstanding, with Orlando Thomas returning to top form. 3-yard loss on the play. On 2nd and 13, the motion man is Lamar Smith. Ray Zellers, the fullback. Rudd gets him again and rides him out of bounds. Minnesota defense is fired up.
Well, they're playing better than they did all last week. Watch Rudd again. Here's the man with the great speed from Alabama, number 57, as he pursues to the right. Excellent speed, and Jerry Ball in front of him eating up all the blockers. So Jerry Ball took care of the blockers and let Dwayne Rudd run free to the ball carrier.
It is 3rd and 13 for the Saints. 5 defensive backs in for the Vikings. And I'll tell you, Jerry, if the Saints can't run the ball better than that in this game, they're going to have a lot of trouble. Zellers runs on 3rd down, gets nothing. The middle linebacker, Ed McDaniel, stops him. So the Saints stay with the run and get nothing. They lost 3 yards on that series.
Well, 3 plays, 3 runs. And Ed McDaniel said the problem they had last week is they could not get off the field on 3rd down. It's kind of a surprise there, 3rd and 11 or 12, and tried to run a sweep. So Ed McDaniel, the middle linebacker, put the stop on that, and he said, our problem is we got to get off the field on 3rd down. Here's a punt block on by the Vikings. They're going to try to block this punt.
Mark Royal, 2nd in the NFC, is back. David Palmer is the deep man for Minnesota. The rush is on. Royals gets it away. Palmer looks, takes it at the 38. Gets across the 45, slips a couple of tackles, and he's hammered down. Chris Hewitt, number 23, in on the stop. 36-yard punt as Randall Cunningham brings his team onto the field. Cunningham is the highest-rated quarterback in the NFL. He hit 84% of his passes last week. The offensive line, Todd Stussy, coming back off a knee injury. He missed last week's game. Jeff Christie is having an all-pro year, according to his teammates. Robert Smith on a pace to rush for 1,490 yards. Carter and Reed, the starting wideouts, will see plenty of Randy Moss. The Vikings, great field position from their own 46. Robert Smith, no hold. Good job by the Saints. So both defenses get off to a good start. Chad Cota, the strong safety, was in on the stop. The Saints defense, Joe Johnson, Leroy Glover, as Coach mentioned, just signed a 4-year extension. The veteran Wayne Martin, Jared Tomich remains the starter at defensive end. Chris Bordano, 6th-round pick, is making his first NFL start. Molden, excellent quarterback. Chad Cota, great on stopping the run at strong safety on 2nd down.
Blitz, Sam.
And
the blitz got there.
And it's Mark Fields, who just signed a new 5-year contract extension himself.
Well, they did a little X with the blitz and linebackers. The X, this linebacker's going to blitz here. Watch Fields come around this way, and you got Chris Bordano eating up the blockers and allowing Fields to make the sack. Nice job by Chris Bordano. He had to sacrifice himself to let Fields make the play.
Here comes 3rd and long, and that is 58 consecutive games that the Saints have had at least 1 sack. They're too short of the NFL record held by the Washington Redskins. Somebody jumped. Tomich jumped offside. Cunningham in trouble is brought down, but that's going to be against the Saints.
Tomich was playing the left end. You'll see him lining up over Corey Stringer, and he jumps on the hard count. Cunningham gave him a real hard 1 count, and Cunningham's rubbing his ankle.
Offside. 90 of the defense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Cunningham is rubbing his ankle.
And remember this, Brad Johnson, who started the season as #1, is in as the #2 quarterback today.
Good pressure, even though there's a penalty. Let's see. Oh, he twisted his ankle right there.
Who ran off the field, so he may be back. 3 wide receivers in for the Vikings on 3rd and 14. Pressure on Johnson. They got him. Another sack. This time, Gerard Cherry, the cornerback in the nickel defense, makes the sack.
Well, it's an X. It's a little X blitz, and it shouldn't be that confusing, but that's twice they've run it, and twice they've got a sack off it. David Dixon didn't make a hard enough hit on the inside blitzer.
So Mitch Berger is in to punt. Excellent job by the Saints.
They're trying to block the punt also. The Saints are trying to block the punt. Both teams playing the same aggressive style.
Berger gets it away. Good kick. Fair catch for Andre Hastings at the 19-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Berger was knocked down. Let's see. Let's see what the call is here. It's
Tough
roughing the
penalty.
kicker. And now is it roughing or is it running into the kicker? Referee today is Walt Coleman. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Mike Ditka looking on.
Running into the kicker on the defense. That penalty is declined. 1st down.
Would have been 5 yards and it wouldn't.
Right. Cunningham's sure.
Lamar Smith and Ray Zellers in the backfield as the Saints go on offense for the 2nd time. Cam Cleveland in motion. The toss to Smith. Boy, the Vikings get there in a hurry. They stack it up in another loss.
Well, there's the toss sweep, which the Saints love, but I think the Vikings defense is too fast to run the toss. You asked me before the game, Sam, what about the toss this week? I think if you're with the Saints, you've got to put it to sleep. Vikings too fast on defense to try to get outside. You got to run right at them.
Excellent start to the game for both defenses.
Still don't have a pass from the Saints.
Billy Joe Tolliver brings his team to the line.
Blitz.
Lamar Smith in motion. The blitz is on. Griffith gets there. And the toss was to Cleveland. It was picked up by a lineman. It's going to be an incomplete pass. That forward toss was dropped. It's an incomplete pass.
Excellent play by Billy Joe Tolliver. He knew he was going to be sacked around the 5, so he runs a flip to keep possession. Tries to flip it right there to his tight end, Cameron Cleveland, and so that's an incompleted pass.
So from the 16, it'll be 3rd and 14. Mike Ditka would like to just talk football. It seems like every other day he's got to be talking about guys getting in trouble and having problems all week long. 3 wide receivers in for New Orleans. Brett Besh is in the lineup. The rush is on, and the sidewinder toss is incomplete. Intended for Cam Cleveland.
The Saints had to leave the outside man free. So the man to the farthest to the outside, they ran out of blockers. And look at Billy Joe has to sling it under, has Dwayne Clemens. Dwayne Clemens, nobody picking him up. Your quarterback cannot survive.
Mark Royals in the punt. These two defenses are really pumped. David Palmer is back deep for the Vikings. Royals gets a good high kick away towards the sideline, out of bounds. That's one of the plans. They want a directional kick and limit the chances of David.
The same kind of punting.
Against the Vikings.
Now it depends when the holding was, before or after the foot met the ball.
Well, it's across the line of scrimmage. I think it'll be after the kick.
Holding. On the return team, number 31, during the return, 10 yards, first down.
All right, he said during the return. If he would have said holding prior to the punt, it's...
I told people to write in your name, so you got some votes. I don't know for what. Randall Cunningham's back in, swings it out to Robert Smith, drop the football.
Get on the ball, get on the ball.
No whistle, is that a lateral pass?
Bad job by the Saints. They should have been sprinting there, picking that thing up, try to talk the official into making it a backward pass. You don't walk to a throw behind the line of scrimmage, Sam. You sprint to it and you gobble it up. Watch Robert Smith. He's going to swing off to the right. There's the throw.
It's forward.
It's forward, but you make the official make that pick. You run over and you pick that thing up. If you're a Saint, you run it in.
Vikings going with 3 wide receivers. Saints have 6 defensive backs, and Mark Fields jumps on top of Robert Smith.
Mark Fields got a new tackle. He got a new contract, and now he's making a tackle. Wow, he's the free runner. All the way from the backside. Watch him run. Boom! Head in front. Wow, that's how you're supposed to do it. He's on the far side. He's away from this play, but he's got the speed to make that play.
Ball's back at the 17 on 3rd down. The Vikings have 4 wide receivers in and David Palmer in the backfield. As they spread everybody out, flags go down. Cunningham's throw is too high, intended for Chris Carter. And let's check out the flag.
That ball was close to being picked off. I tell you what, the Saints doing a great job of sagging the corners way back on the cover 2. Penalty on Minnesota.
That'll be declined, and the Vikings will have to punt. Now, what do you mean by sagging the corners on the cover 2? What does that
rather
mean?
than the corners, Sam, staying in the flat
Illegal
when nothing.
Formation. In the offense, the wide receiver covered up the tight end. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Rather than the corner stay in the flat for the short pass, he sagged all the way back for the deep out. He almost had a chance to pick that thing off.
Mitch Berger back at his own 2-yard line. Andre Hastings is deep for the Saints. The field position is changing. Good kick by Berger.
What a punt.
Hastings at the 36. Gets by 1 and is brought down around the 45-yard line. Good field position for the Saints. 47-yard punt for Mitch Berger. Start time for the Saints is the 46-yard line. That's Steve Slutzker, the 2nd tight end, shifting into the H-back position. Ray Zeller's carrying. Good cutback. As he gets across midfield, Dixon Edwards tripped him up, but a good pickup on 1st down for Ray Zellers.
Well, what Zellers did, he went opposite the way they start. They start this way. He doesn't like it, and this is called a cutback. He sees a little soft hole in there. Clarence Jones doing a good job of washing Dwayne Clemens down on the inside, and Zellers reading it with his eyes wide open.
Look at this yardage, huh? 0 total, -17 for the Vikings. That was a 6-yard pickup. Same formation. Slutzker in the H-back. Zellers pushing forward hard, gets down to the 45-yard line, about a yard short of a 1st down. The strong safety, Robert Griffith, made the stop.
Well, if you like hitting, you like Robert Griffith. This safety can come up and pound you, and we could hear the contact all the way up here. Robert Griffith, can't beat him for hitting. He's a lot like the guy at Tampa Bay, Lynch. He stuck him that time. Short yardage, Sam.
All right. Zellers and Smith in the backfield. Cleveland tight end to the right side. Keith Poole in motion. And nothing there. Zellers is stopped. Great job inside by the Vikings. Dixon Edwards leading the charge for the Vikings defense.
Ed McDaniel in the backfield. They must have had the blitz on. Here's Ed McDaniel. Let's see if he hits that gap. Nobody's blocking him. You can't play football that way. That's a bust by Clarence Jones. You can't let the linebacker run free. Clarence Jones has to block the inside gap on short yardage. That's a bust.
My correction there. That was a great play by Ed McDaniel on the tackle. Mark Royals to punt it away. To the sideline again. This is part of the game plan. Kick to the sideline. Wow. And it's out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Field position edge to the Saints as they pin the Vikings deep in their own territory. At right ankle bothering him. Brad Johnson suffered a broken bone in his leg in the second game of the season. And now back in the lineup. Robert Smith, the lone setback, 3 wide receivers. Quick to the outside to Jake Reed, who had a big game last week. He's brought down at the 15-yard line by Joe Johnson, who was playing in the zone dog position. Dropped off.
Well, the blitz is on, so it's sort of left Drakeford alone, and he almost misses this tackle. And one thing Coach Ditka told us, they're going to try to double the receivers except Jake Reed. And he told us in the meeting, if they're going to beat us, they're going to have to beat us with Jake Reed because we're going to double everybody else.
First 4 games, he was kind of quiet when Randy Moss and Chris Carter were getting all the attention. Now they've been doubling Moss, and it's Jake Reed coming to the front. Smith takes the toss, and he is knocked out of bounds. Short of the line of scrimmage, lost a yard on the play. Time for an NFL update. Back to the Fox Television Center in Los Angeles to Joe Buck.
All right, Sam, how about the Atlanta Falcons off to the best start in franchise history? Off to a great start today in New England. After being up 7-0, the 7-yard toss to O.J. Santiago, 14-0 Atlanta. Back to Sam and Jerry in Minnesota.
Great job, Joe. Atlanta tied with San Francisco. They couldn't beat them. They lost to the Jets. But what a great season the Falcons are having. 3rd and short. Quarterback sneak by Brad Johnson. This is going to be close. But while I have a second, I never had a chance to say what a great job Joe Buck did in the World Series. That was a terrific job of calling the playoffs and the World Series for Joe. And now he's in the studio today with Ron Pitts.
He saw this here. Watch this sneak. He automatically did that when he saw how soft. That's called soft. Nobody in that A-gap, Sam. A-gap's the center guard gap. He just took it on his own.
On his own at the line of scrimmage, he changed it.
On the line of scrimmage. He patted on the center's butt.
First down for the Vikings. Robert Smith, big hole. Breaks it outside. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Tyrone Drakeford shoved him out. Good pickup by Robert Smith, who is averaging, just having a great season. We'll pick that up in a second. Go ahead, Jared.
Watch how he bounces to the outside. He runs up through the middle. Now he heads for the sideline. Man, he's got blockers all the way downfield. Randall McDaniel's downfield, 15 yards with him. He goes out of bounds kind of easy. He didn't turn up and try to pound for more yards. He will run out of bounds.
Averaging 4.8 yards per carry and on pace to rush for 1,490 yards to the tight end Andrew Glover across the 40. And now the Vikings' weapons and that multiple offense is starting to show.
Once they get in rhythm with all their different personnel, now they're coming back in there. They're going to go, looks like 2 tight ends, take 1 wide receiver out. They're going to try to run all different formations against the Saints to try to confuse the rookie middle linebacker Chris Bordano. New offensive formation right now, Sam.
Brian Billick, the offensive coordinator. Robert Smith, the lone setback. 2 tight ends in there. That was the long shifting. Again up the middle with a good hole. Smith bounces off a tackler. The race is on. Smith cuts back beautifully. Down inside the 20. What a run by Robert Smith, one of the best in the NFL. Sammy Knight finally brought him down.
Watch him start up on the lead, following the tight end, then he makes a cutback, runs right over the DB. Bad tackle in the secondary, allows him to turn it loose. Too much speed for, Sammy Knight came back up and made the tackle.
Smith showing speed and some power. He had an earlier run of 15. That run was for 40. Up the middle goes Leroy Horde, the power back. Takes it inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. And the Vikings with a terrific drive, which started at their own 6-yard line.
Well, the drive is going right at the Vikings, right straight off the guards and making the cutbacks. I'm surprised, the Saints haven't filled up those inside gaps. Remember earlier they were blitzing on those inside gaps, knocking people down. They haven't done that on this drive.
Ball is at the 14. It's 2nd and 5 for the Vikings, who have 2 tight ends in, and Leroy Horde, the lone setback. The short drop, throwing for the corner, and it is incomplete. Looking for Chris Carter, Alex Molden was covering on the play.
Nice coverage by Alex Molden. He gets turned around and then he looks back to the quarterback. So this allows him to cut off Chris Carter. Watch his body, Sam. Little jam there. Now he knows he's got to get his head back. The fact he's looking, he cuts off the receiver. What a nice job by Alex Molden.
Ryan Billick, who's done an outstanding job with the Vikings offense. 6 defensive backs in for the Saints on 3rd and 5. 3 wide receivers for the Vikings. Glover in motion. Rolling is Johnson, looking to the end zone for Carter. Touchdown!
Wow.
Another 3rd down catch for Chris Carter. Another touchdown catch for Chris Carter.
What a throw and what a catch. Alex Molden had all kinds of coverage. He's all over him, but they stuck the ball in there.
And what a return for Brad Johnson. Wow. 94-yard drive.
Just like he was never injured. Carter's taking that ball over the sideline. He still has that ball tucked away.
77th career touchdown reception for Chris Carter. The extra point is good, and the Minnesota Vikings have grabbed the lead. Johnson to Carter. Vikings, who are 3-0 at home, have taken the lead. Good kick by Berger. 8 yards deep. It is touchback number 17 on the season for Mitch Berger.
When you watch it,
we had a flag on the play, personal foul called against the Vikings.
Personal foul. 53 of the kicking team hit to the head well after the play was over. First down.
That's Kaivu Usama Mays, K. Mays, the rookie linebacker out of North Carolina, who likes to go down and bust wedges, and he busted a little too hard on that play.
Well, you can bust wedges. You're not allowed to bust heads.
That's right. So the ball up to the 35-yard line for the Saints. Ray Zellers, the fullback. Lamar Smith, the tailback. They split the tight end, Cam Cleveland, to the right. He's the leading receiver with 28 catches. Tolliver on first down. Ray Zellers up to the 45-yard line, close to a first down. And the spot will be about a football length short. Dwayne Red in on the stop for Minnesota.
Well, there's pass on first down with Billy Joe Tolliver for a 9-yard gain. That's what they have to get back and do. That's their chance. You can't just chug the ball on the blitzing Vikings.
Vikings have given up only 20 points at home in 3 games coming into this one today. Tolliver's numbers last week. 2nd and short. Zellers for a first down. Barrels his way up to midfield.
Well, here's the short yardage, just like when they missed the 3rd down with the blitzing linebackers. You'll see Ed McDaniel. Ed McDaniel will be in a blitz, but this time the tackle has to get off. The guard, they blocked it. Oh, just a good job of running, really. They still aren't blocking the blitzing linebacker.
And the center, Tom Ackerman, did a good job.
Yeah, he tried to slide off his and help on the linebacker. They got to correct that. You can't let the linebacker run free.
At the Vikings 49-yard line. Zellers shifts. Tolliver steps up. And a good pickup for Tolliver on first down. Had nobody open. Looks like he picks up about 5 on the play, maybe 6.
Well, when Billy Joe Tolliver joins your team, you get more than a quarterback. You get a mind, a brain, and you get a leader. Watch him. He knows he cannot afford an interception. Doesn't like it, and he wiggles his way out and picks up big yardage.
Across the 43-yard line. Tolliver has become more active on the offense. The coaches were saying he volunteers suggestions and changes some plays.
Well, he knows what he can throw, Sam, so he'd like to get his best throws into the game plan like any good quarterback.
Lamar Smith gets across the 40. He's got a first down. So they're going straight up the middle on the Vikings here.
Now that's the secret. You cannot run that toss, which the Saints love. Don't go wide. The Vikings are too fast. Take it right at them because they're not real big inside.
Coming to the end of the first quarter. good active defensive work. A great 94-yard drive for the Minnesota Vikings for a touchdown. End of the first quarter. Vikings. Second and 8 for the Saints. They split out the back to the right side. That's Zeller. Whoa, Griffith went offside.
All out blitz a little early.
Yeah, he blitzed and he wanted to stop, but he stopped after he'd run into the lineman.
He needed cleats to stop. He was coming too hard. Now listen to Walt. Here's old Walt. He's from Arkansas.
Encroachment, number 24 of the defense. 5 yards, still second down.
I can tell he doesn't live in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got that Arkansas accent. He's got to be happy. The University of Arkansas had a big win yesterday.
Beat Ole Miss, didn't they?
Wow, beat Ole Miss.
Coach Fazio, the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. You see the statistics that list the Vikings as number 26 in the NFL defensively. Foch says that can be deceiving. A lot of the games they've had big leads and given up some yardage late.
Only stat that counts is how many you won and how many you lost.
Tolliver deep down the left side, and it's incomplete. Intended for Sean Dawkins. Jimmy Hitchcock covering on the play. Jimmy Hitchcock's having himself a good year. Hitchcock, the cornerback for the Vikings, was traded over from New England. He was tested early, and he has held up very, very well and having a real good year.
And you know what? I liked him when he was at New England. I don't know why they gave up on him. Here's that double pump that you know I hate. Do the fake the pump, let it go. Not many plays made on a double. There's the move to get Hitchcock up. Hitchcock can run. Got that thing shut off.
And Orlando Thomas was there to help out. Here's 3rd and 3 for the Saints, and Billy Joe Tolliver calls timeout. 11 rushes, 4 passes. Tolliver 1 for 4 passing, and the Saints are 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. 3 wide receivers, 5 defensive backs for the Vikes. Lamar Smith. Flag is down on the play. He's fighting his way, and he made the first down yardage.
What great effort by Lamar Smith, Sam. Wow.
But I think the penalty is against New Orleans.
Snap, false start, 85 of the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Well, you'd never know Lamar Smith had a sore ankle.
No, not at all.
Wow.
Cam Cleland is the man who moved too soon.
Rookie
that brings
tight
it
end.
back.
That's those rookies for you, Sam. They'll kill you. 2nd most in the league with penalties.
Now, don't be killing the rookie. This is a pretty good rookie here in Cleveland.
They got to think. You got to do more than play.
I hear you.
You got to think.
So it moves it back to the 35, makes it 3rd and 8 for the Saints, who have 3 wide receivers in.
See, that penalty, Sam, hurt them on field goal as well as 3rd down conversion.
You're right. Vikings showing
blitz.
Flags go down again. And they'll stop the play, and that's going to be against New Orleans. Looks like William Rofe, the left tackle, moved too soon. Now
they're clear out of field goal. Billy Joe knows it.
Prior to the snap, false start, 77 of the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
And here's Willie Rofe, 12 days after surgery, in here playing, but watch his leg move. There's the leg. And I can't believe he's in there 12 days after surgery. I've been to that knee surgery. When they say it's minor surgery, Sam, minor surgery means it's on somebody else. It's not on you. When it's on you, it's surgery. Now they're clear out of field goal range.
3rd and 13 from the 40. Draw play to Smith. And he gets back to the 40-yard line. That's all. And the 2 penalties on Cleland and Rofe take the Saints out of field goal position, stop the drive.
Well, that's a terrible play call. You should make a play call when a short run takes you out of field goal. They were clear back to the 39-yard line. You got to throw it here, Sam, to try to get back in field goal range. That play selection was awful right there.
Even when you know the Vikings are coming all out blitz?
Well, so what? You get sacked, you punt anyway. You're punting anyway. You lose nothing by trying to get the ball in closer for a field goal. That was a give-up play. Not good.
Mark Royals' 4th punt of the game. David Palmer's back at his own 10-yard line. Royals kicking for the corner. And it is touchback. And the Saints.
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Packers preview on the radio.
We can't have that.
What's going on here? The Vikings are in first place. Robert Smith pushes his way up to across the 23-yard line. Smith with 2 good runs in this game, a 15-yarder and a 40-yarder.
Well, the bad news for the Saints on this, the whole line moves backwards. They get a push and move everybody. Look at everybody in gold and white coming backwards. Now, when I was on the sidelines, if I saw my whole line move backwards, I'd have to try to light you up with a blitz, get the defense attacking rather than catching.
2 tight ends in for the Vikings. The Long and Goodwin. Everybody out. And the completion to Jake Reed across the 25-yard line. Make that Greg DeLong the tight end. Number 85. My apologies.
Watch the quick throw by Brad Johnson. Here's a guy that's been out with that leg broken, but watch him bring the ball out. You can tell he's had good practice. He squats low for a tall guy. 1, 2, 3. Pump. Fire. He's knocking the rust off as he's playing pretty good.
3rd and a yard at the 29-yard line for the Vikings. That's David Palmer in motion. And Johnson gets time, throws to Palmer. He's got it. First down up the 34-yard line. The Vikings feel that David Palmer is the best 3rd down back in the NFL.
Well, rather a back. I think when he leaves the backfield, he's like a wide receiver. So you get a mismatch. This is him. He's no longer a back, Sam. Here's your #1 punt returner. Here's a guy that's very elusive in the open field, and you got him out there like a back, but I think it's like adding a wide receiver.
Well, he started his career in Minnesota as a wide receiver, moved to running back.
173 pounds.
And they say he can pick up the blitz. Robert Smith, the lone setback here. 2 tight ends are in for Minnesota on first down. Flea flicker. Johnson being rushed, throws to the sideline for Carter. It's batted away by Alex Molden. Now that play didn't go anywhere and didn't fool anybody.
And the quarterback almost lost his head. They smacked him pretty good. Flea flicker, you got to have protection. He hands the ball off. Talking about Brad Johnson. There's the handoff. Here's the flick by Robert Smith. Now watch the hit. Woo, right in the head. Be careful. Hitting above the shoulders. Chris Carter. Look at that concentration. And what a great play by Alex Molden. Woo, Alex, you are good. I'd take Alex on my team. How about you?
He's a good player. 3 wide receivers in for the Vikings on 2nd and 10. Johnson goes short, complete to Andrew Glover, the tight end, up to the 40-yard line. Time for an NFL update. Let's go back to the Fox Television Center in L.A.
Let's go back to Minnesota, Sam and Jerry.
Thanks, Joe. That is a big one. And the Falcons, boy, when Chris Chandler is in the lineup, they look like a team. What a year Jamal Anderson's had.
But Jamal's been a good back for a long time. Unfortunate they haven't been winning, and people didn't know just how good he was.
On 3rd down, nobody open. Johnson running, throwing, and a completion to David Palmer. First down. What a play by both Brad Johnson and David Palmer.
What a play by Brad Johnson. He gets flushed. He gets chased. He's going to go off to the left of your screen. He looks, doesn't like the quick out, looks right, got that covered. They had covered 2. Now he's on the run, improvising. And wow, David Palmer never gave up. Flashed in front of the quarterback's eyes.
If you've joined us late, Randall Cunningham suffered a sprained ankle early in the game. He went out for a play, came back in for a series, went out. Johnson is in and is 7 for 9 and has led 1 touchdown drive of 94 yards. Andrew Glover, the tight end, upended by Tyrone Drakeford. 3rd reception of the game for Andrew Glover. There's the former 49er, Tyrone Drakeford.
And Drakeford sitting in the flat with that cover 2, but that means he's got the flat. So whoever runs out there, whether it's a tight end, wide out, or Palmer out of the backfield, he's got to cover that area, and he made a good tackle.
3 wide receivers in for the Vikings on 2nd down. Just across midfield. Robert Smith tripped up. Short pickup on the play. Gerard Cherry
Watch Brad Johnson.
Sorry, Jerry.
Watch Brad Johnson on this play. It looks a little bit like Brett Favre. He hands it off and fakes the pass to keep the secondary out of the run. There's the fake off. He's handed it off, and there's the jump pass. That's a la Brett Favre.
Does that do anything going through those fakes after you've handed the ball off?
It keeps the secondary off of the cleanup tackle coming in on the gang tackle just for one more count.
3rd and long. Leroy Horde and David Palmer in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in. Everybody out. Nobody open. Now Carter comes open. Chris Carter, first down at the 35. Chris Carter leads the NFL in 3rd down receptions. He's had 2 in today's game, giving him 20 on the season.
Here's a quarterback with courage. When the play was over, Todd Stussy went back and pointed. Look at this. Look at him hold. He's not nervous about anything. When this play was over, the tackle, Todd Stussy went over and said, way to hang in there. Running on top of the zone. The backers are zoned underneath, and he's running over the top of him.
20 of 38 receptions this season for Carter have been on 3rd down. On 1st down, Robert Smith bounces off 1 tackler and is brought down around the 33. Mark Fields, the man who got a new 5-year contract extension, made the tackle. He is locked up through the year 2003.
Well, if you're going to lock one up, Mark Fields is a good one to lock. I watch the Saints, what they're doing. The general manager deserves credit. They're signing all their excellent players into 2002, 2003, and every week we talked about Glover's getting signed. They signed Joe Johnson.
Fox Box showed you the drive. Vikings on another long one.
Blitz.
On 2nd down, they pick up the blitz and a completion to Chris Carter again at the 21-yard line.
Well, you can't run a blitz and have your corner sitting outside. By sitting outside, he's got to be inside the wideout. This corner's got to be inside. That's Drakeford. He's outside. He's outside in a blitz. He's in trouble. He's got to be inside the receiver, Jake Reed.
Not Chris Carter. Reed on the reception to the 21-yard line. Another 1st down. Carter has come to the sideline. Chris Walsh has come in the game along with Jake Reed.
Walsh is usually into the crackback. He's a hitter. He's a smacker.
Smith. Oh, shit. Gets down to about the 18-yard line. Picked up about 3 on the play. Good solid drive by the Minnesota Vikings. Boy, are they controlling the ball.
Whoa.
And
Walsh,
mixing it up well, Jerry.
Yeah. And really, the first drive was runs by Robert Smith that wasn't passive. This drive's been throw, throw, throw. The first drive was run, run, run with that gentleman right there. Now they took Chris Walsh out of the game, so I don't expect that big crackback block that you get when he's in there.
You got 3 wide receivers in, and the Vikings decide to call timeout.
For president, owner of the Vikings.
Red wanted to ride with you on the motorcycle before the game. You were riding around the field.
He's one of the best owners in the National Football. Oh, a flip option.
And Palmer is brought down across the 15-yard line.
This is a little college option here.
They are mixing it up.
If you're at Oklahoma, this is what you see every Saturday. He's going to fake the dive. Here's the fake to the dive. Then bring down the option. He pitched it quick. If you pitched it that quick at Oklahoma, they'd cut you.
3 wide receivers in for the Vikings on 3rd and 3. Leroy Horde, the lone setback. This is the 14th play of this drive for the Vikings. Johnson looking for Randy Moss. Caught it short, gets a 1st down inside the 10-yard line. And the Vikings, when they get in the red zone, they are impossible to stop.
Well, and they're off. Watch how he walks off. He gets off deeper than that. Now he walks away. Now he's in trouble. Too much cushion for the quick hitch. And he was reading the quarterback, trying to come up quicker. He was in good position, but he cheated off because you got to honor Moss's speed.
Moss, the outstanding rookie, when he gets his hands on the ball, he can pick up yardage. 1st and goal for the Vikings. Charles Evans, the fullback, gets a couple of yards. Vikings have scored on 33, make that 34 consecutive times when they've been inside the 20-yard line.
I was watching the formation. It's a good thing they didn't try to throw there. They had an illegal formation for a pass.
What was there?
What they did, the wideout covered up the second wide man, so they really had the slot man would have been ineligible for a pass. But by the fact they ran the ball, then you can run that formation.
Two tight ends for the Vikings, both shift to the left side. Goodwin and DeLong. And a flag goes down. A lot of shifting going on.
Too much shifting. Two people moving at one time.
Prior to the snap, false start, 77 of the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Corey Stringer, big offensive tackle, Ohio State.
They say he lost 50 pounds, Jerry.
Well, how would you know? And hey, David Dixon next to him, 71. He's 346. He's 346. Here's about 330. You're talking about 2 full loads right there.
That's a lot of manpower. Second and goal from the 11. Carter in motion.
Oh,
and another flag.
Man in the backfield.
Leroy Horde.
Leroy Horde, he's moving before the snap. 44.
44 of the offense. 5 yards, still second down.
Jerry, it seems we're seeing a lot of that, a lot of false starts, more so than ever, I think.
Well, what causes it is when you're shifting and motioning in the formation. But you have to do that in pro football. In college football, you can come out and line up, but you got to confuse the defense before the snap. Here's the man on the move. There's the motion. Now watch 44 Horde, and he moved. That's 2 people moving at one time. Won't work.
Back-to-back penalties have set him back to the 16-yard line. Second and goal from the 16. Evans in motion.
Left tackle, left tackle.
Flag goes in. They stop the play.
That's Todd Stussy. That's 3 in a row. Come on.
3 false starts in a row for the Vikings.
Left tackle, Todd Stussy, 73.
Prior to the snap, false start, 73 offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Todd Stussy, one of the best tackles in pro football. There he is. He was cheated back anyway. He was cheated back too far. And he knew he had to drop deep. There's the offensive line coach. Woo. Big tight end, Tice.
Is he frustrated? You can see that.
Yeah, well, he's mad.
This down started on the 6. It's now second and goal from the 21. Evans and Horde in the backfield. Evans and Smith, excuse me. That's Evans, the fullback, going up the middle for a couple of yards. And the fans don't like it. It'll bring up a 3rd and long. See the drive on the Fox box, 16 plays, 62 yards. It is bogged down as a result of 3 straight false start penalties.
That play there, Sam, was to keep him in field goal. Now this 3rd down, they have to throw it deep to try to go get the touch. There's the new Danny.
Denny Green is enjoying life right now. He and his wife Marie had his 2nd child Friday night. His team is 7-1, best record he's had at midseason. 17th play of this drive. 3 wide receivers in, and they stopped the play. Some guys went, some guys didn't. Studio scores and highlights. Fox Sports ticker up to the 2nd stats. David Palmer, the lone setback. Blitz is on. They hit him. He got away complete to Glover at the 10, and then he's forced back. Brad Johnson is 6 for 6 passing on 3rd down, but this time, of course, it was 3rd and goal.
What's upsetting, this was the same blitz they had when they got the 2-minute warning, and Minnesota has to pick up this little X inside, and it's like a mirage. It's like a mystery.
Who needs to pick him up on that play? The open man.
Your guards have to protect the A gap. The A gap is the center guard gap.
The timeout on the field.
And into a sports writer. I've been trying to kill one of those guys for years.
Jerry's yelling, no breaks, no breaks.
Oh, I got him.
And there's Red McCombs. Gary Anderson's kick is good. He is 17 for 17 this season, and he is connected on 22 in a row. That one from 28 yards out.
You can't win unless you can get the ball back.
Great numbers for Brad Johnson. Mitch Berger to kick off. Good kick. Way back it goes. Craver going to run it out. He's got the wedge in front of him. And the ball pops loose. And it's still loose. And the Vikings have it. Let's see. They're still digging underneath.
Wow.
Vikings think they have it. They've got it. Minnesota ball. That's a bad decision by Aaron Kramer. He was 7
in their back. That's called pitchforks. 4-yard line is pitchforks for the defense. You got to fight hard one more time. 2 tight ends in. Leroy Horde is the lone setback. It's 1st and goal at the Saints 4. Carter in motion. Leroy Horde, big hole, touchdown. Just like that, the Vikings have broken this one open. Well, the Saints went into a blitz, and Leroy Horde found an open gap.
Huge turnover for the Saints, and the Vikings in one play make them pay. Extra point, Gary Anderson. He puts it through, and the Vikings have a 17-0 lead with 1:25 to go in the first half. They had been using Kadri Ishmael as the return man, but they felt he wasn't getting enough yardage on returns. Craver, they felt, would be better suited for their wedge blocking, but he fumbled the last one. Berger lets it go. Here goes another good one. This one is at the goal line. Craver, no wedge this time. Falls forward to about the 19-yard line. He was tripped up. He got up, and there was no whistle, and he keeps going. Aaron Craver is going for a touchdown.
No, there's no whistle. Everybody's standing around wondering. We don't know if the whistle blew.
The Vikings thought he was tripped up.
If no Viking had touched him, he can get up. So the key is, did a Viking touch him? Here's your return man. You watch it.
He was touched.
He's touched right there.
Is that enough?
Yep, he got touched. That's enough. He's down.
That was Pete Bursich, 56, that touched him.
56 touched him. It is not a touchdown.
You hear the fan reaction. I believe it was replayed here.
They're playing it on the scoreboard, and the fans just saw what we saw.
Aaron Craver is given credit for a 100-yard kickoff return. His first kickoff return for a touchdown. And that is a huge play for the New Orleans Saints.
Well, the crowd saw what we saw. He was touched by a Viking.
Doug Bryan's extra point is good. So what a turnaround there. Discussing it with Denny Green. Now let's take a look here.
I think the Viking hit him on the knee. Number 56 in purple, right there. Did he slap him? See, we saw it, but nobody else saw it.
And everybody stopped except Craver, got up and started to go. No whistles, and Craver outruns everybody for the touchdown. The extra point will kick it off. Saints would like him to start kicking a little deeper.
Well, Walt Coleman is the official in charge here today. He'll be reprimanded by New York City for that call.
Palmer at the 9. Surrounded. Down he goes. Good cover.
He should get up and start running. He should get up and see if he can run it in.
Now,
no,
Jerry.
Won't work.
Earl Little made the tackle. Good coverage on the play. Fans react. No, it will not work. That's not how all week is the number 2 quarterback. Randall Cunningham injured, sprained his ankle in the first quarter. And Johnson has led the Vikings on a couple of long drives. That pass to the tight end, Andrew Glover. Short pickup. No huddle for the Vikes.
Well, the Saints are playing cover 2, which means they're doubling the wideout, so let the throw be complete inside short. There it is again.
Carter dropped it. Carter says he was bumped or maybe held past the 5 yards. Complains to the referee. The timeouts remaining.
Well, they're doubling all the wideouts with 2 deep safeties, allowing all short passes underneath. That's what the Saints are doing here. Hey, the Saints got a chance of getting the ball back here on third. This is third down.
3 wide receivers in for the Vikings.
They're playing 2 deep. They're doubling all 3 wideouts.
Ball has belonged to the Vikings here in the second quarter. Johnson gets time, and it's pulled away by Chris Carter. He gets a first down across the 30-yard line, his third reception, and Brad Johnson stops the clock.
And he jumped on. Broke was my heart because I lost that brand new car.
Robert Smith, the lone setback. 3 wide receivers for the Vikes. First down from their own 31. And the throw for Jake Reed. He went out. The pass was in. And a little miscommunication there.
That's from being the backup quarterback. The backup quarterback only takes a very limited amount of plays in practice. So they're not in sync yet, but he'll get in sync. Is that his first incompletion?
No, he missed a couple earlier. The 7 for 7 was on third down.
Oh, on third down.
Right.
Okay, I got confused. Okay, I'm with you now, Sam. Keep me involved.
We on the same page here?
We're on the same page.
Okay.
We're not even in the same book.
Brady Smith, number 91, who's been out with an injury the last couple of weeks, is back in for the Saints. Johnson gets time. He's going deep.
Oh, he's open.
And it is caught by Jake Reed. Inside the 30. Reed caught a ball like that for a touchdown last week from Randall Cunningham. Brilliant catch by Jake Reed.
Wow, I could tell he broke open.
He beat Tyrone Drakeford on the play.
And Brad Johnson put air under the ball and told him to go get it.
41-yard pickup. Reed had a huge game last week.
Watch him drop his head back. Look at that, Jake Reed. Wow,
That's unbelievable.
Wow, that's body control. That's hand-eye coordination.
Vikings
run
in scoring position at the 27-yard line. Johnson to the tight end, Andrew Glover to the 10-yard line. There's 20 seconds remaining. He wants to spike the ball. The Vikings get to the line of scrimmage. And the clock is stopped with 12 seconds. And they do have time to go for the end zone.
Well, on that pass, his last pass, he read the blitz and knew the tight end is all alone. Watch the blitz. They're going to run that scissors that they've been trying to run. And a good job this time by the Vikings picking it up. And Andrew Glover alone in the seam.
Glover is underrated, I think, as a tight end, Jerry. He doesn't get the recognition with those great wideouts. There are the numbers for Brad Johnson, 16 for 21.
21.
Johnson looking for the end zone. It's deflected and intercepted. Looks like Sammy Knight on the interception. So there's a big play for the Saints defense as they keep the Vikings from adding to their lead.
Well, you gotta love the heart and soul of the Saints. They absolutely won't surrender. Not a whole lot going right for him. A little tip. I think he got his arm bumped a little bit.
And Sammy Knight with the pick.
Sammy Knight picks it up. Somebody bumped the quarterback's hand.
I think it was Wayne Martin.
Wayne Martin.
Let's take a look.
Wayne Martin. There's Wayne right there. I don't know if he got his arm or not.
It looked like it wobbled out of there.
The ball came out with a tail. When the ball has a tail, that usually means it's an ugly ball. I'm going to give Wayne Martin credit. 4th interception for Sammy Knight. 13th interception of the season for the Saints. And we've reached the end of the first half. Denny Green, he's got to be a little upset with the non-call by the officials that allowed that 100-yard. And it certainly proved true. Second half kickoff. Saints kicking off. David Palmer, 1 yard deep. Will cut back, and a good job. Earl Little was the first man down, and Gerard Cherry finished it off. That's good coverage for the special teams of the New Orleans Saints. And look at these numbers in the first half. Saints 24 yards rushing, 9 yards passing, 1 for 4. Isn't that awful?
Total 33 yards offense. Vikings 240 yards offense.
And the time of possession because of the sick offense. And it isn't all the offensive fault. The defense has to get the ball back so the offense has a chance. 2 long drives took the ball away from the offense of the Saints. 2 long drives by the Vikings.
Vikings on offense from the 10-yard line. Johnson, the quarterback. Charles Evans and Robert Smith, the setbacks. Johnson hit as he threw, and it's incomplete. Good pressure on the play by Leroy Glover.
And Johnson is looking at his thumb. Brad Johnson, the quarterback, was trying to wiggle his throwing thumb. In fact, he's holding on to it right now.
See the Vikings possessions in the first half. First two, nothing happened. As excellent defensive work by the Saints. But then the next two, long drives.
Well, the 194-yard drive was mainly the running of Robert Smith. Let's watch his right hand, see if he hits a helmet. No, he hit the ground, hit the turf.
6 defensive backs in. It's Robert Smith carrying up across the 10 to about the 13-yard line.
Johnson's in trouble. Look at something's wrong with his thumb.
And he's waving to the sideline.
How about that one? First quarterback, Randall Cunningham, injured ankle. Now Johnson's still staring at his thumb.
Jay Fiedler is the third quarterback, the emergency quarterback.
Well, I think they better get Fiedler on the roof. They better get him ready.
That was good, Jared. Leroy Horde and Charles Evans in the backfield on 3rd and 8. Throws short to Evans out of the backfield, and he's doubled up. Fred Weary, number 42, Gerard Cherry, number 30, in on the stop. Good job by the Saints, and Johnson is hurting.
Watch the throw. The pass came out, and the Saints do a good job playing the funnel. The funnel means one guy stay outside the receiver and one player stay inside the receiver. Now watch the funnel. Look at that. One inside, one outside. That's beautiful football. They won't let the receiver go anywhere at all. Nice job. Charles Evans was corralled.
Berger punts it away. Andre Hastings at the 38. Trying to get outside. And the Vikes bring him down across the 40, about the 42-yard line. Mitch Berger's kick, 44 yards. Saints, good field position for their first possession. Randall Cunningham with a sore ankle. Jay Fiedler on the other end. Fiedler looks like he's getting ready to come in. And he doesn't seem to be flexing his thumb. Saints on offense at the 42-yard line. Their first possession of the second half. Billy Joe Tolliver with Lamar Smith. And Smith gets a couple of yards on the play, and we are very pleased and privileged to have in the booth the governor-elect of the state of Minnesota, Jesse the Mind Ventura. Congratulations.
Thanks.
How did it happen?
Well, we believed, you know, we worked hard, a lot like in sports. You know, if you work hard and you always believe, good things can happen. Jerry will tell you that.
I got one tough question. Will you now run for president? I want to vote for you for president.
No, I got a 4-year commitment here, Jerry. I'd rather do that.
Here's second down for the Saints. Keith Poole in motion. Everybody out, and Tolliver fires and completes. There's first completion of a wide receiver, Sean Dawkins, in Vikings territory.
And this is what we've been waiting for from Billy Joe Tolliver. I don't know why they've handcuffed themselves. And he's going to come down and run an inside curl. And Sean Dawkins, that's easy pickings. Why haven't they been doing that one?
18-yard pickup for the Saints to the Vikings 37. Two wide receivers to the left side. Zellers and Smith in the backfield. It's Lamar Smith. A little bit of a cutback. Picked up about 3 on the play. Now let's take you back a little. You know, everybody loves to do this.
There's my governor.
There's the guy.
Man. Oh, that's how you got elected right there.
Not once, but twice.
No fooling around in the governor's executive office.
That's right. I want all the Democrats and Republicans to take a close look at that. The legislature, the Senate, and the House.
I like that.
One each for both.
Here's a question about sports now. What about new stadiums? That's what we hear about. Are new stadiums in the offering for the Twins, for the Vikings?
Well, I'll tell you, this one's only 16 years old, and we don't replace schools after 16 years. There's nothing wrong with this stadium.
Tolliver on second down has time. He throws and completes to the 20-yard line to Keith Poole. So the Saints on the move as Tolliver is starting to throw.
Well, if you let Tolliver throw, he can put the ball on the money. And Billy Joe Tolliver handed out these buttons. You'll like this, Governor. It said Billy Joe for Tolliver. He said if you could be governor, he wanted to be president. Watch Keith Poole getting his first start, coming down, gets bumped and pushed and just sits right down on top of the number. That's called the curl route, and he's off and running.
At the 20-yard line. Saints with their deepest penetration. Everybody out. Billy Joe fires and completes to Sean Dawkins inside the 10.
Boy, another turn in, another curl, and Billy Joe's on fire. Well, they waited a half, Governor, but they decided to try to play the second half. What do you think?
Well, you know, it was that freaky play on the kickoff. I'm still not clear on that. I mean, did they say he wasn't touched and a whistle never went?
That's what they said, but he was touched.
Yes, he was. I think that was a blown call, and that's given New Orleans momentum now that they wouldn't have had.
They're feeling good. That's Sean Dawkins on the curl. He's throwing 3 curls, 3 perfect passes.
First and goal at the Vikings 7 as the Saints try to climb back into the game. And they'll whistle it down. False start.
False start on the right over there.
We got some outfits we want to show you, Gov.
Uh-oh.
Because we thought really you and Neiman Marcus sort of set the trends on what to wear. What do you think?
There we go. It couldn't be better.
Ah, you're looking good.
There we are.
Very colorful.
Who'd have thought in those days? The future governor.
I lost my sunglasses. You got any of those left?
Feathered boas everywhere. Don't let anybody see that.
Oh,
burn that one.
That happened to be live from Wisconsin.
Oh, burn that one.
Even I had to go there.
When did the political bug hit you? When did you think about getting into politics?
Well, actually, it was back in about 89 or 90 when I ran for mayor of Brooklyn Park and won in the election of 90.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank
we wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Jerry, thank you. Thank you.
The governor-elect, Jesse the Mind Ventura. The Saints, the rollout on first down. Tolliver pointing, throwing into the end zone. Incomplete. I thought he was looking into the end zone, but the man short of the end zone at the 2, and that was Sean Dawkins, leaped up and was hit and dropped the football.
Well, nobody was open, but Billy Joe Tolliver knew he had to throw it, and he was trying to get people to slide deeper. He's trying to get the Vikings receiver, Sean Dawkins, go deeper. Everybody's coming with us. Oh, man, a high ball. It could have been a little bit lower. Oh, he went up for it. Good effort. Good job by the Vikings knocking that around. Ed McDaniel got in there.
I thought it might have been Smith who was curling behind him in the end zone. Smith and Craver are in. Craver is now split out. And they're going back into the huddle. Timeout New Orleans. Billy Joe didn't like what he saw. As the Saints looking for points. They want a touchdown here. Call timeout. Back in Minnesota, where Jerry Glanville has turned down the opportunity to be lieutenant governor.
Hey, he wouldn't even be a tag team guy with me, he said. He said we're not going to wrestle anymore.
Saints 46-yard drive here after getting only 33 yards in their first 5 possessions. It's second and goal at the Vikings 12-yard line, and it is hard to hear down near the goal line.
No audibles down here. You have to run what's called. Billy Joe is trying to point it out. He's trying to get everybody lined up.
The lineman passed the word along. Lamar Smith out of bounds, lost yardage on the play. Brings up third and goal at the 16.
I can't understand why they're not throwing the football. I've lost it here. Watch John Randall. Maybe as good as anybody in the National Football League. He was not jetting upfield in a pass rush. He was playing for the run. He knew something by the alignment and runs him out of bounds.
5 defensive backs in for the Vikings on third and goal.
This ball has to land in the end zone. Even if it's incomplete, put the ball in the end zone. Give yourself a chance.
And I'm telling you, I'm watching Willie Rofe, who came back from knee surgery. He's still limping. He came back a little soon. Oh, flags go down. Somebody moved, I believe. I think we're going to get a false start here.
Wow, now it's still, the ball has to land in the end zone.
Prior to the snap, false start, 85 of the offense, 5 yards, still third down.
On that replay we showed of John Randall, Willie Rofe was having trouble blocking him. He fought off the block, and I'll tell you, Rofe coming back 12 days after the arthroscopic surgery. You watch him walk to the line. He's limping a little bit.
I've been to that surgery, and I'm telling you right now, they may call it scope surgery, but it's surgery. They're inside your knee.
It's back to the 21.
We got a cubby. Everybody's here to beat the man-to-man.
Third and goal from the 21 for the Saints. That was Poole in motion. Everybody out. Billy Joe throws, completes inside the 5. It's going to be 4th down as he hit Lamar Smith out of the backfield. So here's a decision for Mike Ditka on 4th down.
Let Billy Joe throw the ball. Come on.
He's going for it. You see Ditka?
Oh, he's kicking it.
Nope. You're right. Sorry, I saw him say go for it.
Yep.
But he sent the kicking team on. So it'll be a field goal try for Doug Bryan, who is 11 for 11 this season.
Well, let Billy Joe throw. Go try to win the football game. He sees him. Look at the throw, right on the money. Come on, coaches, let him go for the win.
It is a 20-yard field goal try. It is right through. Bryan is 12 for 12. The Saints get points.
I'm shocked on that extra point. Not one Viking, that field goal, not one Viking came across the line of scrimmage to try to pressure that kick. That's terrible football by the Vikings. What are the Vikings doing? They're watching this play. Look at these three. I'd make them buy a ticket. You're going to watch. You got tickets are $40 a piece. That's awful.
You don't like that at all, do you?
You got to bust your gut on every play.
Doug Bryan to kick off. 17-10. The Vikings leading it. Palmer from the 7. Squeezes through, bounces outside. Good return for David Palmer out of bounds at the 38-yard line. The Vikings set up good field position. Bryan doesn't kick him long. Palmer's an excellent returner.
It's about change. By Circuit City, answers in every department, low prices all over the store. And by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste.
Now, being a place kicker can usually mean you're safe, except sometimes watch out.
On kick, here's Doug Bryan. Woo! Getting hit by Dwayne Butler. Now, he's going to run over to Bobby April, his special teams coach, and say, if they're going to hit me, I'm not going to play.
Vikings from the 39. Smith and Evans in the backfield. Robert Smith squeezes through. Bounces it outside, and here he goes. Drakeford is blocked. Smith may go. Touchdown, Vikings.
Wow, what a run. Up inside on the lead, go over the left guard, break to the boundary, and sprint 61 yards.
He had a 40-yarder in the first half, and he breaks it. The multi-talented Minnesota Vikings can hit you from all sides. Smith went up the middle and had the speed to go outside.
A lot of weapons. Very good football team.
Gary Anderson for the extra point. Big score for the Vikings. Saints were all confused. I think someone ran on the field late. They may not have had enough players on the field.
They only had 10. This penalty will be added on the kickoff. So the Vikings will get a 5-yard closer kickoff.
The discussion. And here's Walt Coleman.
We have all sides on the defense. The kick is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff 5 yards.
Special teams coach Bobby April. One of his guys not out there. Here's the touchdown again.
The lead. He breaks your back to the right. Wow.
That's just great blocking up front.
And he ran away from Chad Cota. Chad Cota made a dive and a miss. And look at the blocking downfield. You got to talk about Chris Carter went 50 yards with him downfield. The wide receivers at Minnesota are required to block on the run. Now look at this. Look at this guy run. This is Chris Carter. It's the guy that usually scores touchdowns. Look at that. He took Tyrone Drakeford for 50 yards out of the play. Here's speed. Even though he's gained 20 yards since he was a rookie, he's got, 20 yards, 20 pounds. He's got 20 pounds of muscle, Sam.
Yeah. Strong runner. 11 carries, 124 yards in the game for Robert Smith. And Robert is right up there for long plays.
And this
one was pretty long, but not as long as the ones he's had earlier.
I got mad at him earlier for running out of bounds. He was just saving himself for that long run.
16 career 100-yard gains for Robert Smith, 100-yard games, and his 4th this season. That's Aaron Craver deep.
Now we got a chance now for our most exciting play. This is where you get hit, do a front roll, and get up and keep running. We got a shot at it again here.
Vikings have regained the 2-touchdown lead. Deep kick, Craver 8 yards deep and takes a knee. It's been a wild day for Aaron Craver. He's had a fumble on a kickoff return. He's had the 100-yard return when it was it looked like he was tripped up and should have been down, and he got up and ran it. Berger with another touchback.
Berger may be your defense's best friend. The way Berger kicks off, the defense comes in great field position.
He leads the NFL with 18 touchbacks on kickoffs. He has got a strong leg. He suffered a mild concussion last week in making a tackle.
Trying to make a tackle. He had headaches all week. Give him a Tylenol, let him kick this week.
Didn't like that Matt Millen was on his case a little bit. You know, Matt criticized him, didn't think he was strong on the tackle. Here's Billy Joe on first down, completes to Aaron Craver. Big pickup as Craver heads down the sideline. And he is tripped up from behind by Orlando Thomas and Robert Griffith. Robert Griffith got him first.
Wow. And why would you ever handcuff Billy Joe? Billy Joe runs a play-action pass. He's going to run the fake to the back and hit the other back. Running down, and that's Craver. Boy, if Craver had one more step, he almost breaks it for a nice job by Robert Griffith swatting 1 foot in the other. He swung his right arm and got him down.
Craver had a couple of outstanding seasons as a pass receiver out of the backfield in Denver. He's excellent. 49-yard pickup for the Saints. To the Vikings 32. Where was this offense in the first half? Lamar Smith out of bounds at the 20-yard line. It's another first down. The Saints moving the football well.
All right, you be a Viking. You get up, make the tackle. Get off the couch. You're playing outside linebacker. Play's coming at you. You got to make the tackle. Get yourself in position. Come on. Oh, you missed him. You're not the only one that missed him. Ed McDaniel missed him, and he's off and running.
Forced out of bounds by Orlando Thomas. Look at the Saints. 33 yards in the first half, and here in the third quarter, 125. They're inside the Vikings 20 on first down.
He's changing the play. Tough to change.
Somebody
tackle jumped off sides. Clarence Jones. What did we say to him yesterday? You cannot change the play in the red zone. Cannot do it.
Too loud down there?
Too loud, too much noise. This crowd's on fire. And your own offensive line, somebody's going to make a mistake.
Prior to the snap.
74.
False start. 74 the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's Clarence Jones.
I don't blame Jones. Billy Joe's too smart to try to change the play down here. Billy Joe is probably trying to get a pass in. See him making a play. He's changing the play. See him verbally. Look at the center. Look back. What are you doing? And there goes the tackle. You got to run what you call in the red zone on the road in the NFL. That's it.
No matter what.
No matter what. Otherwise, that's what you get. You get a penalty on yourself. And Billy Joe knows that better than anybody.
Ball's at the 24-yard line, 1st and 15. Tolliver being chased by John Randall. Gets rid of it. Wide open is Zellers. He falls down, and then he's touchdown at around the 10-yard line. Ray Zellers out of the backfield. A lifesaver for Billy Joe.
Yeah, I promise. Billy Joe went on the run. He was hot-footing it off to the right side. He's not real fast, but he gets flushed and chased. Now he's just staying alive, trying to make the play. Lofts that off to Zellers. Now, this is the Saints' best play. Get down, get up. Get down, get up, right. Keep going. They should do that every play. Now, if you go down, get back up.
Whoa.
Oh, nice job. Man. Nice concentration.
Almost
Never gave up on the ball.
It is 2nd and inches for a first down inside the 10. Lamar Smith finds the hole, bounces off a tackler and goes down to the 3-yard line. First down for the Saints.
Oh, Lamar Smith, he is digging. He's trying to get it on in there. Here's a guy that they got from Seattle. Watch him start this way and break it back. Full speed running. Look at him weave. I'll tell you what, he's running over some good people. Robert Griffith, one of the best tacklers. He's running over everybody.
Smith started the game slowly, but he's starting to really go now. 10 carries, 22 yards. First and goal for the Saints at the Vikings 3-yard line. Tolliver dropped the football.
Lucky for the Saints, there's illegal procedure on the Saints. The Saints are lucky.
False start.
Quarterback pulled out without the ball. What great crowd noise this home field advantage is.
False start. 68 of the offense. 5 yards.
That's Kyle Turley, the man who was guilty of the false start.
Left guard.
Turley, the first-round draft pick who started at tackle while Rofe was out.
He's in here. Oh, wow. Didn't show there, did it? May have missed that one.
8 penalties in the game for the Saints.
Put the ball in the end zone, Billy Joe. Don't throw short. Put the ball in the end zone.
They split Craver to the left. Lamar Smith the lone setback. It's Smith going outside. Try to cut back. Vikings got him at the 9-yard line. Orlando Thomas was there along with John Randall.
Well, running at John Randall, it's hard to earn 11. Wow, he just threw Willie. Willie Rofe is injured. You can't take Willie and throw him off that easy. Randall's treating him terrible.
6 of the 8 penalties that the Saints have had in this game have been false starts.
Some of that's probably crowd noise, playing on the road. One of them is definitely from trying to change the play.
2nd and goal from the 9 out of the shotgun. Everybody out. To the outside to Craver. To the goal line. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown. What a play by Aaron Craver.
Man. He stretched out. I wondered if the ball got over. What a great effort by Kramer. Now Mike Ditka's into it. Let Billy Joe throw that football. Watch Aaron Craver. Watch him try to stretch. Great. Oh, I don't think
he did.
That's not a touchdown. That is not a touchdown. No way.
You hear that reaction? The fans just saw the same thing.
Wow, that's 2 calls that are terrible in this game.
The extra point by Doug Bryan is through. So the Saints have gotten a couple of good calls, both to Aaron Craver. He scores his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Well, Craver's got this mystique over the officials. They can't see him. He becomes invisible, and they don't know what he's doing. Watch the invisible play. Watch the invisible goal line. No way is that a touchdown. Big ball game. We still got a heck of a thing going on here.
6 plays, 80 yards. Craver caught 2 passes for 58 yards on that drive. Doug Bryan's kick is a good one. Palmer comes from 3 yards deep in the end zone. And they got him. Saints with good coverage. Palmer down at the 17. All right, take a look at this play again. Craver from Tolliver.
The blitz on Tolliver. He gets the ball out, dishes it out to Craver. Now you call. You're sitting in. You make the call. A little bit farther. No touchdown.
You know, Jerry, was the nose at the goal line? I mean,
but I think that I don't think he had possession on the bounce. You got to have possession across the goal line. You can't throw the ball across the goal line.
Up at the 18-yard line, the Vikings with Brad Johnson at quarterback, Robert Smith. Stopped by Leroy Glover in his tracks.
Leroy, what a player. What a nose tackle.
Leroy Glover, who was cut by the Oakland Raiders in training camp in 1997.
Said he was too small.
Couldn't play the
two gap. Couldn't play the 2 gap, but watch him play. He went to the World League. Look at him throw that center around, and that happens to be Jeff Christie, one of the best centers in all of football. But we see Glover do that each and every week.
Won a championship with Barcelona in the World League. Here's Johnson. He played in the World League too. Short pass complete. Up to the 25-yard line to the tight end, Andrew Glover.
And now Johnson is, that was called a dash. He's trying to roll to get away from the pressure. Wow, we got a track meet here, Sam. We got a 7-point game, and we're going up and down the field. You got to get excited if you're sitting at home.
Absolutely.
Don't go to the refrigerator. You may miss 7 points.
Andrew Glover has caught 7 passes. Brad Johnson in his return replaced the injured Randall Cunningham, who sprained his ankle early in the ball game. Here's 3rd and 3. Everybody out looking for Palmer against Keith Mitchell. Looks like he's got enough for a first down. Mitchell went over on the coverage, but Palmer just too quick for the linebacker.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, great play. Christie saw the blitz. Christie was signaling the blocker, the center for the Vikings. He signaled the blitz, told everybody that we got a block. That told the quarterback they got to bring the ball out. The ball comes out instantly. If he didn't throw it, talking about Brad Johnson, instantly, it was a sack. That's all Mitchell could do. In the open field, you can't do any more than that.
First down at the 28-yard line for the Vikings. Robert Smith, the lone setback. The play fake, Johnson. Chris Carter. Pushed out of bounds up near midfield. His 4th reception of the game. They'll mark it at the 46-yard line. First down for the Vikings.
Well, Brad Johnson paid the price to hold on this ball because the Saints were all over him. Fake the play action. Nobody bid on that fake. And here come the Saints. Good job by Brad Johnson hanging in there, making that throw.
17-yard pickup. First down Vikings at the 46. They had a 94-yard drive for a touchdown in the first half. The long shifting. Smith carrying. Leapfrog the pile for about 3 yards up to close to the 49-yard line. As time winds down in the 3rd quarter. The Vikings scored first. They have held on to the lead, and the Saints have hung in there.
It looked like the Saints were going to get embarrassed. At halftime, they hadn't done anything. But you got to admire them. They fought back against a very good Minnesota team. Now it's a 7-point game.
Evans and Smith in the backfield. And with time, swing it out to Smith. Too far. Too far, too high. 11 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll bring up 3rd down for the Vikings.
They're expecting the blitz, and Brad Johnson's safety valve for the blitz is that halfback flare. So you've seen 2 of them already in this drive because the Saints are no longer playing straight up. They're blitzing.
Denny Green is not a happy guy right now. His team's leading, but he knows that he believes that his team should be leading by a lot more. On 3rd down, they pick up the blitz. Good catch by Jake Reed. First down, Vikings. 4th catch of the game for Jake Reed. Vikings continue the drive.
Well, they're throwing the quick slant versus the blitz. You got to get your corner inside.
End of the 3rd quarter. Vikings 24, Saints 17. We'll be back after this word from your local Fox station. For NFC West lead, Saints take on the Rams. Doubleheader game. Packers, Giants, Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks and Jaguars. That's some good football. Johnson on first down. Got rid of it to Robert Smith. Across the 30. And close to another first down.
What a play by Brad Johnson. Most people get sacked. Most people get pulled down. He's got that coolness, that presence of what's going on, and he flips the ball. We said in the open, Billy Joe and Brad Johnson will make it work.
The offense drives this team. 53 offensive plays for the Vikings, 31 for the Saints. It's 2nd and less than a yard. Robert Smith. And I don't know. May have come up short here. Good job by the Saints of stuffing Robert Smith. Like Troy Wilson, number 79, made the tackle. Good job by him.
Troy's made some plays this second half.
3rd-year man out of Pittsburgh State. With San Francisco, there is Robert Smith coming up with his 4th 100-yard game of the season.
Well, they put Palmer back in the game. Palmer's in the backfield. He's really like a wideout back there with all that speed on 3rd and short. Unusual to have him in there.
That's right. It's 3rd and a yard. And diving for it is Johnson. I don't think he got it.
I think he did.
You do? I'm saying he came up a little short.
I'm disappointed in the movement of David Palmer on that play. when you run the sneak, the back's got to go opposite, so you pull a linebacker with you. David Palmer, watch. David Palmer's got to go that way because the quarterback's going that way. He didn't go anywhere. David Palmer's got to help out, try to pull a linebacker out of it.
Jerry.
4th down. Here we go. You were right, baby.
There you go.
Now you got to blitz if you're the Saints and fill up the inside gaps. They're too soft on the inside gaps.
Vikings going for it. Johnson throwing. 1st down to the tight end, Andrew Glover. What a game Glover's having. His 8th reception.
Who's the best guard in all of football? Randall McDaniel. Let's watch him on this play. He's the left guard, 64, always the guy with the ugly stance. Oh, and what Glover was doing there is submarining, trying to stop a sneak, so he just laid on top of him. That's what exactly the defensive lineman had to get in there, submarine, grab the quarterback's legs for the sneak.
But there was no sneak. It was a pass to the 24-yard line. 1st down, Vikings. Short drop, complete to Chris Carter to the 15-yard line. Time for an NFL update. Let's go back to the Fox Television Center in L.A. to Joe Buck.
All right, Sam. Giants at Dallas. Troy Aikman back in the lineup for the Cowboys. This pass to Ernie Mills, 27 yards. The leaping catch to set up a touchdown throw to Eric Bjornson. It's a 10-point Cowboy lead midway through the 4th quarter. Back to Minnesota, Sam and Jerry.
Thanks, Joe. The Giants hanging in there, but that was a big play.
Great catch. You look like a Viking receiver on that one.
Dallas will be at Arizona next week. Green Bay at the Giants. Robert Smith up the middle to about the 12-yard line. Chris Carter with that last reception a little while ago, closing in on 10,000 yards in his career, and he has gone over 10,000 yards receiving, the 15th player all time. What a wonderful career he's had. And really, he was picked up as a free agent on waivers by the Vikings and resurrected his career.
Well, Buddy Ryan said he couldn't play. He had to cut him. Wow. He's still playing. Buddy Ryan sitting on his horse farm.
Smith hit. That's an excellent tackle. Great play by the Saints.
Oh, man.
Mark Fields, number 55, the man who now is signed through the year 2003, signed a 5-year contract extension today, and it looks like David Dixon.
Oh, not David Dixon. Here's a guy that started off as a rugby player in New Zealand and has worked his way up to being an excellent guard in the National Football. Never played football, Sam. He played rugby.
That's right.
Went to Ricks Junior College as a defensive tackle. Then he went to Arizona as a defensive tackle.
Right now, looking at his left shoulder. Dixon hurting. Will step out for a moment. 11 minutes to go. 4th quarter. Vikings leading by 7. Back at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. David Dixon went off holding his left arm close to his body. Watch number 71.
He'll be trying to trap Leroy Glover, number 97 for the Saints, and hurts his shoulder right there. Leroy stuffs the trap, and he's holding on to his right elbow or right shoulder.
Everett Lindsey, a very versatile lineman, has gone in at right guard. Quick toss to Carter, and he's wrestled down at the 6-yard line.
Why would you stand up and throw a quick out like that? Because the corners are. Look at this, Sam. You play that far off, he'll just do a little hitch. Way, way, way too much. That's Drakeford. Man, when you're down on the 10-yard line, you can't line up on the 1.
But even if you're afraid of a guy like Carter beating you?
Well, you can't give up that play.
Okay.
You got, sooner or later, you got to challenge him when you got pitchforks in your back. The goalpost is sticking him.
15-play drive, 77 yards, 3rd and 3. That's Carter in motion. And the quick toss is batted away and intercepted. Sammy Knight may go all the way. The Vikings trying to catch him. Knight will not be caught. Touchdown, Saints. Wow. 2nd interception of the game for Sammy Knight. This one is 98 or 99 yards. Huge play for the Saints.
What great concentration on the ball. He was bobbling it. Knight would not give up on the ball. He batted it up 2-3 times, and he hung on to it. Can you believe this Saints team? They've done nothing right, and it's going to be a tie game.
Juggling act, and then it's off.
Watch the great speed, these people trying to catch him. He knew that Carter was going to catch him, so he had to wiggle. If he kept going straight, he knew Carter had him.
91-yard touchdown return with the interception by Sammy Knight. Doug Bryan to tie this game. The game is tied with 10-10 remaining. Sammy Knight, second interception of the game, 5th of the season. This is the way he saw it. And he's gone.
Here's the route on Carter, and then Carter tips it, and he keeps it alive. And then he takes off on the 3rd longest interception in New Orleans Saints history. And he's smart enough to know Carter's going to catch him if he doesn't wiggle, and he made a good wiggle to get rid of Carter.
Doug Bryan to kick off with a game tied. The Vikings had led 17-0. Palmer surrounded. Good job once again by the Saints special teams.
Wow, when you say good job, I mean they blew that thing up.
Brett Besh was there. Gerard Cherry was there. And now the Vikings, who have mounted several long marches, will go on offense. 10 minutes to go. 24-24. Great comeback by the Saints. Big plays. And later today, Michelle Kwan, Todd Eldridge, some of the world's best skaters meeting the culmination of skating's hottest event. Don't miss the First Union Grand Slam of Skating following football at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. Check your local listings for the start time in your area. On first down, Robert Smith. Ball down around the 20-yard line. A couple of yards on the pickup.
Oh, great tackling there too, Sam. I think what beats inside of the New Orleans Saints is Mike Ditka's heart. I see the spirit of a Mike Ditka. Nothing's going right, Sam. Everything looks bad, but nobody surrenders. That's a fun team to watch.
They have come up with some huge plays. The veteran Wayne Martin at the 20-yard line. 2nd and 9 for the Vikes. Pick up the blitz over the middle of Glover. He's got it. What a catch by Andrew Glover. The tight end is having a huge game. His 9th reception.
Well, the tight end's not tight. You'll see him spread out. He's going to come down all the way off of that seam. And it's a zone blitz with, of all people, the poor rookie linebacker, Chris Bordano. It was covered 2. He had the tight end down the middle and couldn't get there.
9 catches, 94 yards for Andrew Glover. And the Vikings are in Saints territory at the 46. So they hit you with the 3 wide receivers and Robert Smith, and then they throw in the tight end for good measure. It's Smith for about 4 on the carry. Joe Johnson made the tackle.
And why is Bordano alone on that tight end the play before? Because they're doubling the excellent wide receivers for the Vikings. So that's tough on a young rookie middle linebacker. Chris Bordano is alone with a good tight end, Andrew Glover.
135 yards rushing for Robert Smith. 3 wide receivers for the Vikes on 2nd down. Smith carries, and Mark Fields got him. Excellent play by Mark Fields. He got in the backfield in a hurry.
Well, they should have given Mark Fields that contract about 3 games ago because he's playing better than ever. Watch the speed as he'll come right through the inside. And he was reading the lineman. When the lineman blocked down, he fired.
3rd and 7. Leroy Horde is the lone setback. 3 wide receivers, 5 defensive backs, blitz coming. Quick to Carter. First down. It was Jake Reed. Jake Reed on the 3rd down reception. I'm so used to calling Carter on 3rd down, but this time it was Jake Reed.
Well, Brad Johnson saw the safety. The safety back here is running down. There he is right there, and that gave up the slant. The fact that Sammy Knight was coming, Brad Johnson saw it, stood up, and fired the slant.
Now it's Reed shaking up on the play. Needs to be helped.
Don't forget what Mike Ditka told us. If we're going to get beat, Reed's going to have to beat us because we're doubling everybody else. So what the Saints have seen off of this is the tight ends alone on a linebacker, so they're featuring Andrew Glover.
Vikings threatening to break the tie. We'll be back right after this.
My favorite show. I love the X-Files. My favorite.
Everybody anticipating the season premiere. Randy Moss is in with Chris Carter. Jake Reed walked off to the sideline. Look at the total yardage difference between the two teams. And the game tie. That's Evans, the fullback, in motion. On first down, Johnson deep into the corner for Carter. Overthrown. Alex Molden covering Chris Carter on the play.
Excellent coverage. Brad Johnson tried to drop it out of a sky ball here. He puts the air on this, tries to drop it in. There's Carter looking for it, but a little too far. Look at that concentration. Look at that hands in the eyes. All the Viking receivers do such a good job of that.
They have great size, great speed. Jake Reed is back. Carter and Reed on the left side. Robert Smith goes into the pile, and the pile pushes back. Will bring up a 3rd and long for the Vikings. Mark Fields was the first one there. Fans wanted a call against the Saints.
I think the Saints were trying not to slam them down, but they were all going to fall down. So you can see Robert Smith wanting a penalty there and Stussy wanting a penalty. But the officials probably thought it wasn't a slam, it was a fall down.
And first man you saw was Zaven Uralian, the defensive coordinator, and there is the head man, Mike Ditka.
Well, the defense has played hard, but they haven't stopped a lot.
Robert Smith comes to the sideline. Leroy Horde comes into the lineup. See the Vikings 10 for 16 on 3rd down conversions. 3 wide receivers in the game. Johnson being rushed and gets rid of it. Left-handed Leroy Horde inside the 10. How did he do that?
What a play. He flipped it out of there. You know, he was a basketball player. When you're a basketball player, you got to flip either hand. I think he flips this left-handed like he's still playing basketball. What a play. Well, there it is, a left-handed flip. He's back to playing basketball like he did at Florida State to Leroy Horde. Woo!
Wayne Martin had his arms wrapped around Brad Johnson right here.
What a play.
Man. 1st and goal. And Johnson 12 for 13 on 3rd downs at the 6-yard line. Charles Evans, the fullback, gets down to about the 2.
Let me tell you, Sammy Knight stuck him. Wow. You talk about some good hitting. Sit up on the edge of your couch, get in the living room, kick your shoes off, make this tackle. Here he comes. Watch Sammy. Ooh. Oh, Chad Cota hit him better than anybody. Chad Cota hitting Evans. This is Evans. Chad Cota right there. Woo! Hollow!
Andrew Glover in at tight end. 3 wide receivers for the Vikings on 2nd and goal. Leroy Horde stopped at the 1 and pulled back. Good hard play by the New Orleans defense.
Nobody runs harder inside than Leroy Horde. He's in there because he can drag the pile, but the pile took him backwards that time.
So here comes a big 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. 5 chances in the red zone. And the Vikings, who had an excellent streak of having scored 33 consecutive times, had a couple of interceptions in the red zone today. 3 wide receivers and Leroy Horde the lone setback. 3rd and goal from the 1. It's Horde. And he's in. Touchdown.
Straight ahead running, no fair dodging. They just ran a dive right off the right guard. And heavy running by Leroy Horde.
2nd touchdown of the game for Leroy Horde, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. Vikings have regained the lead.
I don't know if they've punted. Have the Vikings punted other than the first 2 series?
Not since then. Not since early in the game. The kick is good. Leroy Horde scores. It's a 31-24 Vikings lead.
Watch Horde run heavy up inside behind that big offensive line, running inside of Corey Stringer. Here he is running right at you. Cut her back inside. Jeff Christie making a big block. Randall McDaniel, you know, when you start talking about the Vikings offensive line, it sounds like you're introducing the all-pro team. They can all play.
The Vikings have had drives today of 94 yards, 70 yards, 74 yards, 61-yard run for a touchdown, a 77-yard drive, and now an 81-yard drive.
Wow. The punter won't have to shower.
Man. 11 plays. They ate up 6 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock. 3:43 remaining after the Saints had tied it on the Sammy Knight interception, return for a touchdown. Here's Mitch Berger to kick off. Chris Walsh, he wants the crowd getting into it.
He's their kamikaze. 81's the man. He's the guy that tries to knock him out. Chris Walsh, he'll be flying.
Craver is deep for New Orleans. Big kick by Berger. 8 yards deep, no return. His third touchback of the game. Man, does he have a strong leg.
At Berger, we said the last time, the defense's best friend. How about Walsh? He's mad he didn't get a chance to hit anybody. Right there, you see Chris Carter. I think that 100-yard chase wore Chris Carter out. When he chased Knight on the interception, he hadn't been able to get his win back yet.
Saints comeback wins under Mike Ditka last year against the Bears and the Raiders and the Seahawks and the Panthers and Colts. Aaron Craver has split out to the left side. Billy Joe out of the shotgun.
In the shotgun.
Everybody out. Side winding throw.
No huddle. He's running his 2 minutes. He's gathering them up. A sidearm sling. Only Billy Joe. Watch the throw in the shotgun. He gets to see it all. Throws around the rush. He had rush coming off his left side, so he throws it sidearm.
No matter what angle, he finds it. First down up the 33-yard line. Blitz is on. Craver carrying. Up close to the 40-yard line. Ed McDaniel makes the tackle on Aaron Craver.
They decided to blitz Billy Joe because they thought it was another pass, but he had to sweep on out of the shotgun.
Ball just short of the 40-yard line. The clock running. The Saints have 2 timeouts remaining.
Surprised they're huddling, Sam.
Dawkins and Poole are the wide receivers. Smith and Craver in the backfield. Here comes the blitz again. He gets rid of it. It's incomplete. Robert Griffith, he keeps firing in from the safety position.
Well, they had 2 backs in the backfield, so I figured the 2 backs were in to pick up the blitz, and you'll see the fullback goes out and ignores the blitz. Here's the fullback. This guy's going to blitz. You got 2 backs in here to pick that up, but he flares. He ignores it. Quarterback has no chance.
So now it's a big 3rd down play. 3rd and 3 for the Saints. 3 wide receivers in the game. Hastings has joined Poole and Dawkins. Outside. And it's short of a first down. That is a terrific tackle on the play.
Fuller, I believe it was Corey Fuller, making a great tackle. Watch Corey Fuller. He keeps him from getting a first down. Puts his arms on him, drives him. Wow, that takes us to the 2-minute warning, Sam.
Big 4th down decision for the Saints, who trail by 7. People on their feet in the Metrodome.
Well,
clapping and chanting defense,
well,
defense.
If you're at home saying get off the couch, stand up yourself. Doesn't matter if you're a Saints fan or a Vikings fan. Get off the couch, stand on your feet, start screaming. This is the ball game.
4th and less than a yard. Saints have to get to the 43. They are 1 for 6 this season on 4th down. The Vikings with a 31-24 lead.
How about this crowd? Listen to this crowd, Sam.
They're into it. And the long wait continues.
The official is holding him in the huddle. Let him go, Mr. Official.
The Vikings, who had the big lead. The Saints came back with some big plays to tie it. Now the Vikings have the 7-point lead.
Corey Fuller made that big tackle to make this a 4th down.
Randall Cunningham sprained his ankle early in the game. Brad Johnson coming back for the first time since he was injured in week 2. Here come the Saints. Lamar Smith, the lone setback. 3 wide receivers. Quarterback sneak. Billy Joe, first down. He fell forward for enough for the first down.
Well, the clock is running, Sam. You got to get up and get a play going. The clock's running.
Now they're going to measure first. That's Kyle Turley.
Starting left guard got hurt on that sneak.
He hurt his ankle last week. He's been playing on a sore ankle.
And they'll lose a timeout. You can't have a timeout in a 2-minute situation that they don't take your timeout away from you. You can't have an injury timeout, Sam.
They brought the chains out. And they spot it.
Okay, this first down. Now the Saints had 2 timeouts prior to the player being injured, Turley. You can't have an injury timeout in 2 minutes without them taking it off the board. So they're going to go from 2 timeouts, Sam, down to 1 timeout.
Turley gets up, limping.
There's Corey. See that finger? That means you're down to 1 timeout. Okay. You lost a timeout with that injury.
Mike Ditka came out to see his first-round draft pick. Robert Griffith trying to get the defensive signals. Saints 1st and 10.
Saints out of the huddle, but the officials aren't ready.
Andy McCullum has replaced the injured Kyle Turley at left guard.
Unfortunately for the Saints, in this formation, they have not been able to pick up the blitz. So we'll see if the Vikings done a good job if they'll come back with the blitz.
Saints haven't been able to get the ball to Cam Cleveland the entire game. Their leading receiver, the big tight end. The rush on. Tolliver on the run. And it is complete across midfield to Andre Hastings at the Vikings 48-yard line.
And the Saints did not lose that timeout I talked about because there was a measurement. When there's a measurement, you don't lose the timeout, so they still have 2. Look at Billy Joe. Back in New Orleans, they'll be sitting on the couch singing "Ode to Billy Joe." Dwayne Clemens chasing them all around.
At the Vikings 48, 1:35 remaining. Aaron Craver is the lone setback. 3 wide receivers. Everybody out. Billy Joe throwing deep. There's a flag on the play. He's got a man open. It's incomplete, out of bounds.
Got a holding.
There's a holding.
Got a holding against John Randall. John Randall got held by, I believe, Clarence Jones. They had to hold John Randall. Your big players make big plays in crunch time. It's crunch time. So John Randall, you've seen that commercial. He'll be chasing those chickens for the next minute and 29 seconds.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face, number 77 of the offense. 10 yards, still 2nd down.
William Rofe, he had to go to the face with his hands to get this call. He's right here. John Randall's in a 2-point. Watch Willie. Wow, that's a tough call.
Had the hand underneath the face mask.
Look, must have had him hooked. He didn't jam it. He must have hooked him.
Ball back to the New Orleans 42-yard line.
They had 2nd and 1, Sam, so that hurts him on a chance of getting a first down.
The blitz is on. They got him. Ed McDaniel, the middle linebacker, buries Billy Joe Tolliver.
Well, they brought 2 blitzers. They brought one out of the secondary, and Ed McDaniel. It's a blitz trailer. One's blitzing and one's trailing. You'll see them all come right up to shoot, and there it is.
Man, oh man.
Oh, that formation, they haven't been able to pick up the blitz. Robert Griffith out of the secondary ties up the blocker, and then Ed McDaniel does the twist as the middle linebackers call a blitz trailer.
So now the ball back to the New Orleans 31. They have to get to the Vikings 47.
And Billy Joe called a timeout after that sack. So they're down to 1.
3rd and 22 for the Saints.
That formation, they got to put probably 2 backs back there. I don't know if they know they haven't picked up the blitz in the 1-back set. 1-back set means there's only 1 back there, and the rest of the people are out in the pass route.
Don't forget, check your local listings for the time in your area. First Union Grand Slam of Skating, the best in figure skating.
They're back to a 1-back set, and here comes the blitz.
Whoa, look at Vikings moving up close. Here they come. He slides away from Wong. Now he's buried. Kylie Wong was the first man on the blitz, and then John Randall with the sack, along with Derek Alexander.
Well, they slid everybody down inside to pick up the blitz, but they'll leave the outside guy free when they slide. Not enough people to pick him up. No chance. Lost 13 yards on that play.
We welcome those of you around the country who've been watching other games to the Metrodome in Minneapolis. Sam Rosen along with Jerry Glanville. The Minnesota Vikings leading the New Orleans Saints 31-24 with 1:19 to go. The Vikings had grabbed an early lead, a big lead. The Saints have had big plays, a 100-yard kickoff return that looked like the man had been tackled. He got up and ran for 100 yards. That was Aaron Craver. They had a 91-yard interception return for a touchdown to tie the game. And with 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, the Vikings went on a 6-minute, 23-second drive, 81 yards for a touchdown. Brad Johnson, replacing the injured Randall Cunningham, has had a big game in his return from injury. This is 4th down for the Saints. They have to get to the Vikings 47-yard line. Tolliver rushed again, spins away, now he's buried. 3 consecutive sacks by the Minnesota defense.
This time it's Dwayne Rudd. This is Rudd, the linebacker. Good speed. Coming on the corner. In crunch time, your big players, watch him. 57. Gets right off of Chris Noli, makes the sack.
The Saints had a 2nd and 1 at the Vikings 48. It started with a holding penalty, an illegal use of the hands penalty against William Rofe, and they were pushed back by the Vikings all the way to the New Orleans 12-yard line.
Well, when the Vikings had to stand up and make a play, they knew the Saints couldn't pick up the blitz, and they just blitzed them, and now 3 kneel downs and it's over.
The Vikings, who had a streak of 40 consecutive games with a sack stop last week, have come up with 3 sacks today. New Orleans heading for their 5th loss of the season in the last 6 games after the 3-0 start. The Vikings, the start of a 3-game homestand. They have Cincinnati in here next week, and then the week after, the Green Bay Packers will be here in the battle for first place in the NFC Central. Packers will be in Pittsburgh tomorrow night. The Vikings go to 8-1.
And if you're a Saints fan, don't be mad at your team. The players fought hard, and the players never gave up for New Orleans.
The Vikings now 8-1. Green Bay plays tomorrow night. Tampa Bay plays tonight. And Mike Ditka congratulating one of the greats, Chris Carter, who achieved another milestone today as he went over 10,000 yards receiving. He scored a touchdown with a great catch. Vikings beat the Saints 31-24. We'll be back in just a moment.